What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego in the back with some more boxing. Now. I had to make this video, and in the words of Roy Jones Jr., I didn't want to have to do this, but Oscar made me. Now, it's been a minute since this is me personally, I don't have any problems with Oscar. Never even met the dude. But I feel Oscar has been wearing his promoter hat a lot in recent memories. And what I mean by that is, like, I used to look at him as like a fighter slash a promoter, but now he's already graduated to full promoter because some of the things he says I just can't agree with, and it just sounds like promoter talk to me. And promoters, a lot of people compare them to kind of politicians. I mean, statements like there is no racism at all in boxing. I don't see how anyone of any descent could honestly go on record and say that there's no racism at all, whether you're black, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Japanese, Russian, whatever, green, white, purple, racism, it does in fact happen. Now check out my video I did with Troy King, Mean Comments. You'll hear some of the racism because of his opinion. He said he thought Berto was faster than Pacquiao and Khan, etc. And you'll see some of the racist comments that it got. Now, moving forward to this topic, Oscar did a ESPN interview where he was talking about the reason why Gennady Golovkin, hey guys, no Max, why that fight with Canelo has to marinate. And I'm going to read a direct quote from you, and then I'll give my thoughts. Oscar de la Hoya says, and I quote, "If I had my way, if the fight was happening tomorrow, the negotiation would be 90% for Canelo and 10% for Golovkin." So obviously these negotiations would be complicated if we were to do them now. But in time, we will sit down and put together this fight because it's a fight that everyone wants to see. And that's what he said to ESPN Deportes. Shout out to them for the coverage. Now, I mean, that's ridiculous. That's utterly ridiculous. I don't care who says what. But 90% to 10%, I get it. Canelo easily, in my opinion, is the A side of the Gennady Golovkin Canelo when they are to fight. If they do fight, he's easily the A side. There's no disputing that. I don't think anyone can dispute that. Canelo has a better resume. He's been in there with the Mayweathers of the world, the Erislandy Laras. He's been in there with guys like Angulo. He's been in there with Shane Mosley. You know what I mean? Guys that had names, Carlos Baldomir. And Triple G, he's had some exciting performances, but it hasn't really been about against the caliber of people. Some people avoided him, but he's not being ducked by everyone, and for whatever reason, the fights haven't been made. Some of it is because of the Cold War, so a lot of different things going on there. But nonetheless, when you look at two resumes on paper, Canelo has a better one. Mosley and Mayweather is better than really any name on Triple G's resume, what those guys have done for the sport. You know what I mean? And that's just a fact. When you look at Erislandy Lara, his background, his schooling, his amateur pedigree, and what he brings to the table, a vicious southpaw, very sneaky and crafty in there. It's better than a Willie Monroe or anyone else that Triple G has fought in terms of per division skill set and what they bring to the table. Lotta beat Demetrius Andrade in the amateurs. So, you know what I mean? He's a proficient and has been a gifted fighter for some time. So Canelo clearly has the resume. Canelo clearly has the better numbers. Canelo versus Angulo and Erislandy Lara were both pay-per-view. They did about 350 to 450,000, somewhere right in the neighborhood of that. The Mayweather fight with Canelo, the one card that set pay-per-view gates, it's like the third highest selling one. And it was, I think it was the number one before Mayweather and Pacquiao broke all records. So we get it. Canelo's clearly the A side. I have no problem with that. I told you I'm not big on the catch weights. I don't know what they're going to do. Canelo kind of in the past has been on this 155 tip. Gennady Golovkin, he was on the fight game, and he said he's not going down to 55. It's a middleweight title, so I don't know what they'll do here. But 90% to 10% is just ludicrous. There's no way you can explain that. I do think that Gennady Golovkin versus Lemieux was the HBO pay-per-view, and it flopped. But this is another thing that I don't think people put into perspective. That was your fighter in there too. That was a Golden Boy fighter. Oscar de la Hoya is in charge of Golden Boy, and it was Triple G versus David Lemieux that flopped at 150,000. So it didn't do good numbers, but that was your guy in there with Golovkin. And again, I'm not vouching for Triple G versus Lemieux. I expected more. They were saying it was going to be a Hagler-Hearns. I thought David Lemieux would at least go for broke a little bit more. The numbers didn't show up. It did good live tickets and pre-sales and stuff like that, and maybe souvenirs and merchandise. But as far as the pay-per-view, that wasn't stellar numbers. I get that. So Canelo's clearly in the A-side seating, but 90% to 10% is just ridiculous. Like, you guys do the math. If it's a $2 million fight and one person's getting 90 million, leave it in the comment section. The people that are good at math, how much that would be. The person who gets the lion's share at 90%. And it's funny to me because guys like Floyd Mayweather, who are hated in the sport by large groups of people, initially, the second time he tried to make the Pacquiao fight, called Pacquiao, and this is all testimony that's been corroborated by guys like Alex Ariza and others. And Floyd Mayweather called Pacquiao. He was on the phone with him for a brief minute, and he said, "Hey, I'll give you $40 million, maybe no pay-per-view proceeds or a small portion or whatever." And the $40 million was a spit in the face, according to Pacquiao. So he just passed the phone off to his handler or somebody like, "Nah, I'm not doing whatever. I don't even want to talk to this dude," right? And a lot of the fans jumped in the mix and said, "Oh, Mayweather's ridiculous. He tried to offer him $40 million. Pacquiao's worth more than that, and why didn't he get the pay-per-view proceeds?" So I want you guys to go in on 90-10 and tell me how that's a fair split. Again, Golovkin, I told you everything in this video. Golovkin has more to prove at the elite level. He seems to be the goods, but we still got to see it. We got to see him in there with the Ward, a Froch, a DeGale, somebody in his division that's on top, a Billy Joe Sanders, Peter Quillen, Danny Jacobs, whoever. We got to see him in there with guys who have, you know what I mean, a 4-win streak, undefeated guys with knockout power, guys who are taller than him. And, you know what I mean, that can kind of put all of it together, because it's clear as day, if you only have one of those attributes, like you're tall with no power, then you'll probably struggle. So I want to see someone like a Danny Jacobs who's taller than Golovkin, plus he has power, and he has some momentum from the Quillen win. Just those types of fights. Will they happen? Don't know. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes and political warfares and Cold Wars and shit. But all I know is, even with that, all of that being said, 90% to 10% is just egregious that Oscar would say that. Again, Canelo's a star, but he also has a loss. Golovkin has no losses. So depending on how you look at it, again, Golovkin's still not the A side, but he does come into the fight with merit too. You know what I'm saying? He's an undefeated fighter, which Canelo isn't. He has a higher knockout percentage than Canelo. So to try to chump him by saying he deserves 10% if the fight were to happen tomorrow, if you were to do negotiations in the near future, he gets 10%? Really? And people were mad that Mayweather offered Pacquiao $40 million, but you're okay with 10% of a purse? Again, that's just, to me, that's a foolish statement from Oscar. I don't know why he said that. Canelo's a star, but you know what I mean? He's not that big of a star where Golovkin should only get 10%. Again, that's ridiculous. I don't even think guys like Lara, I would say Triple G's more popular, and he's like more of a fan-friendly cult favorite, if you will, than Lara. But I don't even think Lara got 10% or Angulo got 10%. So why would Golovkin in a mega fight only get 10%? You guys answer that in the comment section. Drop in the comment section, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.